All right, now let's go ahead and understand from the creativity point of view how capable they are, right? So from ChatGPT and Bart perspective, and let's dive in there, right? So let's ask ChatGPT this question: like, can you create a short poem about spring? And let's see what it says here. And this is what I'm just going to ask here. So this is what it is being created. Like in no time, it has created this spring's poem, and this is insane, right? So in a spring's time, gentle warming embrace nature awakens with a smile. Blossoms burst in color so bright, chasing away the long cold night. I mean, it looks like if Michael Jackson is singing this song, would have been much better, and he could have been trained further chat gpt to how to write these poems or write the songs probably. And this sounds like a earth song, right? The nature, this is what it is getting started with, like. And the trees put on their finest attire as birds return, turning their choir. A symphony of life fills the air, a season so sweet beyond compare. I mean, look at this, like this is doing pretty nice, right? So from April showers to May's bloom, in spring's embrace, there's no gloom. I mean, this is, I mean, really, like it's going like insane, right? And this is the creativity which you can think from that perspective, like how it has done. And if I just give the same prompt to this guy Bard, and let's see what it comes up with. Like, is he going to generate the same thing, or somewhere in any of the verse, like it says spring on the joy of a spring when nature wakes from winter sleeps, and the world comes alive again, the birds return, their songs filling in air, right? So this is little, of course, at least the first verse. And now let's look at the other verse here. And the world awakens from winter's deep sleep as spring gently creeps, and life starts to leap. And this is like it's going like a pretty synonymous kind of thing which is happening, the way it's getting ended, like it's sounding really great. And the third thing is like, oh spring, you are here at last, with your gentle breeze and your sunny skies, the flowers bloom and the birds sings, and the world comes alive again. So this is also nice, right? So I mean, both ways, both are really doing great job. And now it's up to you to judge like which one is actually making sense. If you are from that particular background, you can add some more tinge to that, and you can ask, can you include this, can you include that, and can you make something like this? So this is what prompt improvisation means, like, or prompt chaining comes into the picture, which we'll obviously see into the prompt engineering chapter itself. But this is fairly doing great, right? And let's ask another thing, like can you generate a dialogue between a cat and a dog, right? So cat whiskers, hey there dog. I mean, is getting, I should have written that as short. And this is created little bit, anyways. Cat whiskers, hey there dog, what's going the what got you wagging your tail so enthusiastically today, right? And dog, you won't believe it, I just went for a walk in the park and it was a positively amazing. I mean, these words are really freaking out me, right? And I chased my tail, met new furry friends, and even got a treat from my human, right? So this is nice to have this, like. And you see, there is no hearing thing, like you can text to speech capability is not there, which is actually there here, right? You can click and listen also. So
Sure, here is a short poem about spring. Spring. Oh, spring, you're here at last, with your gentle breezes and your sunny skies. The flowers bloom, the birds sing, and
this is what I was trying to say. So let's say you got stuck with any of the pronunciation of any of the words. At least that can be that can be a help. That text to speech, that may be a later point of time ChatGPT can include that, but that's just a one of the things, like which is very short things which they can think later, right? So now let's try some other things. Let's say, can you create a catchy slogan for a new coffee shop, and let's see how it does with that one. So these things, so these are the capabilities which you can think, like you can do any to any extension, like so basically this is that's what we when I say that there is no limit, so actually there is no limit. So we are doing here crazy things and asking crazy question as well, and this is making sense whatever the response which is coming out of that. And it says awaken your sense one sip at a time. It makes sense as well, right? You can have a multiple, can you create few more? So let's say, so it can obviously do that, and you can handpick one of the items which you see there's 15 items has been created and in no time, right? So this is what is the power of AI, which is getting blended with the data, right, which is on which it is reading, right? And your daily dose at perfect, I mean this is the blended word which you can see here. Sip, savor, repeat. And this is also nice. Crafting coffee, creating connections, this is nice, right? So it depends like which one is suiting your passion, and which one is going with your theme. This is what you can think of. And let's try some other prompt here, and then we can see into the Bart's capabilities as well, right? So from the creative point of view which we are seeing here, and can you write a brief plot for a scientific movie, a sci-fi movie, which you can see the stellar nexus. In the not so distant future, humanity has achieved a significant milestone in space exploration by establishing colonies on Mars. Basically, Dr. Emily Walker, a brilliant astrophysicist, leads a team of scientists from. I mean, this is of course a scientific movies, because setting up colonies is still far away until the time, let's say ISRO or NASA, or maybe Elon Musk does something there, right? So this is a far thing, I mean still. And the Bard, from that perspective, let's say let's try something which is really strange. And can you generate a unique recipe using apples and cinnamon? Is it really, I mean if you get from chef background, I mean that's what I'm saying, beat any sector, right? This is something for the recipe guys, right? So let's say who is into cooking or anything, you can ask like, can you give me a recipe for let's say chicken butter masala, right? How do Indian recipes, South Indian recipe, or French recipe, or German recipe, anything, right? It's every information is with you itself, and this is what it has actually baked in, right? Actually cooked in rather. So 1 tablespoon of olive oil, half onion chopped, and 1 clove garlic minced, and everything is there, right? You just need to use these things, and out of these drafts you can eventually use any of this, and hand pick any of the drafts which is suiting your need, right? So that's the one thing. Now let's try that some can you create an itinerary for let's say for a 7-day trip to Paris, let's say from Ranchi, right? And I'm just going to give Ranchi is a capital of Jharkhand in India, right itself, and this is where Dhoni belongs, right? So if you don't know this thing, right, so I mean probably you can get to know about this. And this is what it is doing, like day one, arrive at Charles Day Airport at the city center, leave your luggage, go to work, and day two, Eiffel Tower. And this is what it has, this entire itinerary is created. And I was expecting the plan in terms of from the flight as well, like where to pick up the flight from where to where. And it's the plan for the France itself, like for Paris itself. And I said like, can you create an itinerary for a 7-day trip to Paris from Ranchi? That's what I said, like. So I was expecting like you need to go to the flight from Ranchi, pick the flight, then take the international flight, and this is the connecting flight. This is where you will be landed, and then this itinerary actually starts. So little bit of tuning needs to be done, and this is what I at least I can say from this point of view. But overall it has done a decent job, and this is fairly okay. Now let's try something else here. Now can you create a short story about a robot and to be an artist, right? So that's what I'm saying here, who wants to be an artist, right? So Now this is what it is going to give me, right? So this is like, once upon a time there was a robot named Alex who wanted to be an artist. Now this is okay, and this is also done this almost the same thing which ChatGPT is doing, and it has, I think, is making sense as well. So you can compare from the creations perspective which one is doing better, but at least from the creativity point of view they are doing okay, right? So now let's think from this perspective, like can you come up with a fun game that can be played at a party? So this is actually, we are testing its creativity from ChatGPT and BART perspective, right? So both are doing great, and to its expectation, and out of which you just need to judge like which one is suiting your need and which one is more flawless, right? So and here, can you come up with a fun game which can be played at a party? And it has come with a like the name, that tune, right? And here are the materials, like a list of songs, a music player, a timer, and these are the instructions. Dive the party guests into two teams, divide the party guests into two teams, select a song from the list and play a short clip of it between the two teams, and the first team to correctly guess the name. And this is nice, right? So it can create any games also. Same prompt which I am giving to Bard, you can give it to the Chat GPT also, and you can see that which version is getting created, and what is the game is coming out of that. And here is has created three games at least, looks like, and looks like you need to select one out of these, and it makes sense as well, right? So which one is making sense for you, can hand pick that one. So remember that while both models are capable of generating creative content, their responses may vary based on their training data and architecture. So this is the key point which you need to remember. Don't compare apple to apple, that every time it will give you the same response. That is not going to happen, certainly.